Welcome in. Today we're going to find out the answer to one of Earth's greatest questions. Why do Europeans dislike Americans so much? Is it because our military could single-handedly dunk all of Europe overnight? Is it because our flag is prettier than everyone else's? Or is it because we are insufferably arrogant? Memes aside, let's find out why Europeans dislike Americans so much.
I'm asking questions about how Europeans see Americans.
I think it's third world country with a lot of money.
Damn.
Very negative.
Very
I
negative.
mean, in the sense that we don't have healthcare, yeah. We're like the richest country without universal healthcare. It's truly insane. And honestly, I think we might be the only first world country that doesn't have universal healthcare. So yeah, you know what? She can hit us with a third world country with a lot of money. I'm okay with that title.
I don't see anything positive about America.
I think they're a bit stupid. American TikTokers, they earn too much money with what they do.
Damn.
Like in Belgium, we have to work for our money and they just make videos and that's it.
Hey, Belgian people can be TikTokers too. I feel bad for this dude. He's probably also a TikToker. This is on YouTube, but he probably makes TikTok. He just got roasted. And he's probably thinking, damn, I'm not making as much money as she thinks, brother. She's out here cooking me like that.
You know, I might be completely wrong about this, but I think it was a little bit cooler to be American when I was a kid.
Yeah, when I was a little fella, I think it was cool to be an American too. And this is going to sound like insane, but like post 9/11, we were real cool. It's like we're like the champions of the world post 9/11. Like, let's go, hoorah. That's how it felt anyway. Eagle screech, explosion, you know the vibes.
I've lived in Europe for several years now, and look, I've romanticized this continent quite a bit. I really like living here, but there's a funny feeling that I cannot shake.
I think I kind of romanticize Europe as well without ever being there. Maybe I don't romanticize Europe. I just, hate on America since it's all I've ever known.
And I think it has to do with how Europeans view Americans, or how Europeans view me when they discover that I'm American. And it's not entirely positive. This feeling has not gone away.
On the flip side of that, I think Americans have a very positive view of Europeans, at least British people. They love your accent. They truly do. Me, on the other hand, I could do without it. No, I'm kidding. You guys sound good.
Even though I've been here for a few years now. And it's not hatred, it's more like negative undertones, offhand comments or jokes that are made, and it makes me feel not very cool. And by the way, I recognize not all Europeans dislike Americans. That is a massive generalization. But I'm bringing this up because it's been enough of a trend for me to confidently talk about this as something that's really happening in the world. I don't think it's just in my head. It just seems like when it comes to Europeans' view of Americans, there's a lot to dislike. I don't necessarily entirely disagree.
Yeah, so I stream on Twitch and I have a lot of European viewers. And that was before I was making any of these videos. It was just the time slot I streamed and it attracted a lot of European viewers. And I think they too have like a negative view of Americans overall. Like, I'll make a self-deprecating joke about America and like the chat will love it. So I think that is true. In general, Europeans do look down on America. Actually, I think every country looks down on America, at least nowadays.
I have plenty of my own criticisms about the United States and the way of life over there. And I think that all places, all societies merit criticism. That's how we get better. So this applies to everyone. But there's something deeper going on here that I want to explore. On a personal level, my own identity as an American, but also the identity of Americans on the global stage. We don't live in a bubble, and it turns out the whole world has opinions about us. Now, I have my own theories about what's going on here, but I thought I'd get to the root of the matter and ask Europeans themselves.
Street interviews, let's
A little bit
go.
nervous talking to strangers, but I'm just gonna go for it.
What are the stereotypes?
All right.
That's a good question.
Bah moi, quand je pense aux Américains, je pense à la bouffe et tout.
Dans quel sens? Le fast-food?
Oh, damn, he speaks French. Shout out him. Oh, you know what I learned? Oh, yeah, she just said at McDonald's or McDo. McDonald's in France is like pretty legit. They have reusable containers and whatnot. I'll put a card up here to the video. It looks cool. Looks good. I'd like to go.
McDo. Ouais, ok.
Hamburger et tout.
Mais les Français adorent McDo.
Oui, bon, on y était.
Yeah, see, you just said it.
Donc c'est pas forcément négatif ça.
Non, non.
Ok.
Mais c'est l'image.
Actually, I like it.
Honestly, dude, as an American, the image of America to me is also McDonald's. Like, it's steeped in the culture. McDonald's marketing did a great job. They're synonymous with the US.
because they are like very chilled. America is like so
I
expensive.
think I'm pretty chill. Cool.
Good food.
She likes us.
Like
Yeah.
for like fruits and all this fresh stuff, it's like so expensive.
J'ai deux visions un peu.
Okay.
J'ai la version où ils sont trop cool et tout, et la version vraiment le beauf américain.
Do you think the stereotypes about Americans are true?
Kind of. I have a classmate that is American, and we are talking like about our traditional foods. And the American was like, my typical food is hamburger, ice cream, like the McDonald's one. And we are like, oh, so McDonald's is your typical food? She was like, yeah, kind of.
Could I just take a couple minutes, ask you a couple questions? It's okay.
So
if
many
you
people
don't have
saying
time.
McDonald's.
Okay, all good. Have a nice day. The Americans don't have time for me. that's kind of funny. Would you
But they're
mind
on vacation, man. Don't hate on them. They're on vacation.
if I asked you a couple questions?
Polarized.
Polarized.
Extremely polarized.
Yeah. More than the Netherlands.
Much more.
Feel younger people feel the same way or differently about American?
I think even stronger.
Even stronger?
I think they feel
Okay.
even stronger.
Yeah, the older people, I feel maybe thinking of the World War II and World
Yeah.
War One.
Oh yeah, in World War II, did like Europe view America extremely positively? I'd imagine they would. Maybe not the Germans, but I feel like Europe as a whole would view America positively after World War II. Maybe I'm wrong though. I don't know, man.
Which the Americans did a very good job.
Okay, no, yeah,
Yeah.
you
by
answered for
helping,
us.
because Europe was not doing very well.
Yeah, I recently watched World War II Oversimplified, and like that, I learned so much because the American education system sucks. And dude, that was terrifying to think if Hitler never turned on Stalin, like we
might not know the world as we know it today.
Ils connaissent que ce qui se passe dans leur pays, j'ai l'impression. Parce que
enfermés sur eux-mêmes.
Enfermés sur eux-mêmes.
C'est-à-dire que c'est pas contre eux, mais qu'ils s'intéressent pas trop aux autres pays.
They know about their own country, but not about like other
Fair.
stuff in the world. They're overrated.
Honestly, we don't actually know too much about our own country either, if I'm being real. Like, I don't know a lot about the Wild West. We weren't taught a ton, to be real with you. And like the Civil War, I wasn't taught a lot about the Civil War either, which would probably be like one of the biggest things to learn about in America. In my head, it's like Revolutionary War, GG's, British, shake my hand. And then the Civil War, I think would be the two big ones. But we kind of glossed over those. Like, it was just like early on schooling, like 1st to 5th grade, and then just like rarely after that.
They're overrated. How? Like, they receive too much attention?
Yeah, too much hype.
Too much
on
hype.
the internet.
Are you also German?
Yes, I am.
And in Germany, you feel like German people have a positive view of Americans? Or
Not really.
No,
I think
okay.
so.
Forgive me for this. I must ask. Is it common to not wear bras in Europe? I wasn't trying to look. They were staring at me, okay? They were staring right at me, eye to eye.
negative?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you feel that there's been a change at all in terms of how Americans are viewed, like in the last 10, 15 years?
I think so, yes. Especially due to the Trump and the Tea
Yeah.
Party things happening.
Yeah.
It got more polarized and that made it more negative in my view.
There's more that I'd like to say about why I believe this dynamic is happening, why Europeans see Americans in this way. But before I do, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is BetterHelp.
Who do we got? BetterHelp? Yo, shout out
Therapy is a
BetterHelp.
really powerful tool when it comes to
I'm pretty sure that this like promo is already ended, so we will fast forward. GG's. Shout out him getting his bag though.
Get 10% off your first month if you sign up at
There you go.
betterhelp.com/Nathaniel
Right
Drew.
there.
And I'll leave
I'll
that
leave
link
this
in the
part in.
description as well. It's one of the best ways to support my work. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this video. All right, time for me to share some of my own personal theories here. Here's why I think it was maybe a little bit cooler to be American in the past. I was
Let's
born in
hear
the
it.
90s, maybe like some of you. And back in the 90s, it's not like
Oh,
the
yo,
United
one of
States
my friends had that rug.
or the world for that matter, didn't have its problems. It definitely did. You're not gonna get any
Yeah.
of that classic, nostalgic, those were the days kind of thing from me. But one thing I think we can all agree on is that back in the 90s, the internet had not yet completely taken over our lives like it has now. And in my view, the internet feels like it's taken whatever problems already existed and made them bigger and louder.
Yeah,
That
he might be cooking. I 100% agree so far.
actually be what the internet is best at. the fast transmission of ideas and information, which in turn amplifies them. And there's another thing that the internet is really good at, which is that it is a canvas for less curated or filtered versions of that information or ideas. There are less gatekeepers, so anyone can say anything. My theory is that as time has gone on, and as the internet has played a bigger and bigger role in our lives, the world has been exposed to a less curated version of the United States. You know, you had movies and TV and pop music reaching the entire world, but it wasn't like it is today with social media and even the news reaching so many more people. Nowadays, it feels like you cannot escape the news about the mass shootings that are constantly happening in the US or the insane election cycles. I think in some ways, the internet might have taken away some of our innocence, right? Some of our naivete. As a result, even more curated versions of culture, like the highly produced TV shows and movies.
Yeah, actually, if anyone was alive before the internet watching this, was America known for like mass shootings and school shootings before the internet? I wonder.
Reflecting the things that we're seeing. The unintelligent or simple American is...
Hey, for the record, I know they were showing Jackass on the screen when he said unintelligent. Johnny Knoxville is an extremely intelligent man, I'll have you know.
Very believable archetype, and not a new one. You've got at least one, and often more than one character that perfectly fits that archetype in pretty much all American sitcoms, from Friends to How I Met Your Mother. And there are plenty of shows that play off of this very intentionally. I think of South Park and Family Guy and The Simpsons. And internationally, the contrast is even more stark. And it might just be me, but it does feel like the perception of Americans is deteriorating. I mean, I'm thinking about shows like Emily in Paris or The White Lotus.
That's the second time I've watched a video that references Emily in Paris. Is this a popular show? Like, are you guys watching this? I've never heard of it.
The White Lotus in particular blew me away because it felt so believable and oftentimes in a very depressing way. Clearly, Americans are not known for being refined or in touch with reality. This is particularly true of wealthy Americans. And why wouldn't Europeans feel this way? We are famously terrible at learning foreign languages. To many, we're seen as living in our own giant bubble.
A lot of people beforehand used to think like the US was like very cool and this really lovely place to go to, but I feel like everyone just thinks it's dangerous and that they don't care about their citizens. There's all these shootings going on.
There are.
Their healthcare is horrible.
It is. Listen, this girl's the best one. She knows what's up. She really does. She is not missed yet. The school is horrible.
Schooling is horrible.
So there's been a change.
I think it's always been like that. I think there's a change now because like social media is is making it more apparent.
America used to be, you know, like the American dream. Like a lot of used to be a big thing. Like gun crime was getting like publicized a lot more. So I think like the narrative is changing a little bit.
Je vois l'Amérique comme une grande puissance mondiale. Et je les vois comme des capitalistes. En fait, si t'as de l'argent, tu vis bien, mais si t'as pas d'argent, y'a personne pour t'aider. Marche ou crève.
In France, we say the Americans are
True.
But I love America with the friends, the salary friends.
Donc il y a des côtés positifs et des côtés négatifs.
Ouais, c'est ça.
The negatives is we're big and fat. The positive is friends.
Globalement, les gens pensent ça, mais en même temps, tout le monde veut aller à New York et tout le monde veut aller aux États-Unis.
Ouais, d'accord, ok.
C'est ça en fait, ouais. Ils ont des préjugés, mais en même temps, c'est quand même un rêve d'y aller.
J'étais absolument ulcérée.
Why were you horrified? Did she think America was going to attack France? Listen, Trump's crazy. He's not that crazy.
Était au pouvoir, de voir le comportement de cet homme, ça donne pas envie d'aller forcément dans ces conditions-là. Le fait que les gens soient très très armés, j'ai l'impression que je me sentirais pas en sécurité.
Most people love Canadians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you clarify you're a Canadian, they're like,
Phew.
That's funny.
They're like, oh, Canada, where are you from in Canada? For me, it's like a lot about the money.
Listen, Canada is more similar to America than a lot of people think. They just have universal health care.
Times I went to New York and it's like, you know, winners.
Which is big, I'll be fair.
And losers and, you know, you gotta make it and you gotta make loads of money and blah, blah, blah. And then like if you don't have money, you're like basically fucked.
Yep.
I would say extremes. It's like an extreme, you know, country. Like very, very rich, very, very poor.
Right.
Eat very much, eat very, very, very healthy, like extreme healthy, extreme, like XXXL, McDonald's, whatever.
Where are you from?
England.
Perfect.
Honestly, dude, like 99% of the people he's speaking to are just spitting facts. They know. They're correct.
So I'm doing a video on Europeans' view
of Americans.
Okay.
I don't know if you have
We're
any
not
opinions about that.
European.
So, okay.
We're from Europe. No, we're not. We left the EU.
Oh, silly British
Feel
people.
like it's a more positive or a negative view of Americans?
I'd say negative. I feel like there's a lot going on there that's just a bit backwards.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we need to move along.
Yeah.
The like all the abortion laws coming in.
Oh yeah, that's crazy, bro. Them Southern fellas canceling the abortion. That's insane.
And, yeah, like all the gun crimes,
Yeah.
things like that. Like I imagine like most of the country is absolutely lovely, but there's some of the morals that are just a little bit off for me. So I struggle with that.
I agree, but I do think you all.
I think they're viewing like deep South America as all of America. At least how they're speaking so far.
proper chatty and that, and you're really energetic.
Yeah.
So it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
but I
lovely
also
to
agree
meet
with that as well.
Yeah.
It's lovely to meet Americans.
Yeah.
I was like memeing on the accent in the beginning, but I do like how she talks. Proper chatty.
Meeting Americans.
Okay, so why am I so interested in this topic? Well, over the last few years, I have shared my journey moving abroad and looking for a home. Because that home is not the United States. I just don't feel connected to that country. Not as a home, even though I'm coming to realize that it did shape me in many ways. I'm just trying to find my place, but as I've said before, different people will treat you in different ways based off of how they perceive you. The first time I experienced this was during my high school exchange in France when I was 16 years old. Obama was president, and regardless of your personal political opinions or feelings, he was seen in a generally positive light abroad. So in a weird way, even though I was not
Obama has a lot of charisma.
responsible for electing him, I wasn't even of age to vote, that scored me some cool points. And then on top of it, 16-year-old French kids living in a small town in the west of France thought it was cool that I rode a yellow bus to school and that I had my own personal locker in the United States. So I was benefiting from all these things that I didn't really control at all. Then I get to Argentina a few years later.
Ooh, I would love to visit Argentina.
And I see what it's like to be on the flip side, where the general sentiment was more negative. I'm generalizing.
Isn't Argentina like the most European South American country? Because like, let's call it like it is. All the Nazis are there.
Here, but there's a bit of an anti-American streak in Argentina. And I think this comes down to the image that the United States has
No. It's because the Nazis are there. They're still salty.
of being a bit of a bully.
I'm joking, by the way. Relax. Half joking.
I mean, Che Guevara is a bit of an anti-American, anti-capitalist symbol, right? So that was a very different experience. And now I'm back in Europe, and I've been here for a while, and the perception has changed yet again.
90% of the Dutchmen think Trump is quite strange.
Yeah.
They think Republicans are also quite strange.
I mean, I don't think anyone would argue that Trump isn't quite strange. He's definitely a peculiar individual.
And that Americans are
Like, even the people who love him would say, yeah, Trump's different. He's strange.
Puritan.
This
You gotta
might
be
just
strange
me,
to become
but I
president.
do feel like the image of Americans has deteriorated a little bit over the last 10 years. That might come down to the government that's currently in power. It might come down to social media. This is a very complex thing, so I can't point to a single reason, but it's definitely a feeling that's there. Now, on a personal level, before I realized that this was going on, I was kind of unintentionally overcompensating. I felt like I needed to show that I wasn't the out-of-touch American in Europe. And the same thing happened in
I wonder if that's why he learned French. I'm sorry. I wonder if that's why he learned French so well.
Argentina, where I was speaking with as much slang as I possibly could that I picked up
Well, I guess there's the answer.
over there, even when it was just way too much, when it was inappropriate. Que zarpado, boludo, está re piola, pibe, mal. Why was I acting like that? Was there a deeper need within me to be accepted by the people that I am surrounded by? To me, it's a little bit cringy to behave that way because it's overcompensating for something, which in this case
I
was
do
the
agree that it is a little bit cringy to behave that way, but it's also very understandable if someone does behave that way, so I don't judge people for that.
identity that people were associating with me. Whatever it was, the out of touch, stupid American, whatever it might be. But that's actually a me problem, not a problem with the world. I've come to realize that people can think whatever they want about you. It doesn't change who you are. If people see me as yet another dumb American, it doesn't mean that's true. And also, it doesn't mean all Americans are that way. I think we all know this. We all know that individuals don't necessarily follow the stereotypes. But it's also how people operate in a world of 8 billion people. I can't blame people for having formulated an idea about the place that I'm from, considering how much culture is exported from that place. A part of me used to try to distance myself as much as possible from anything and everything American, But the truth is that at least some part of me, some piece of me, has been influenced by my upbringing there. There are a lot of things I don't like, but there are some things that I do. If genuinely being very enthusiastically excited about simple things is the dumb American thing to do, then fine, maybe I'm a dumb American sometimes, because that is something that comes naturally to me. I would rather be myself and accept the consequences than try to be someone that I'm not. And you know what? Everyone wants to feel welcome wherever they are, and especially in their home. But the reality is that that's actually a luxury, not a given. So many immigrants in the United States were never made to feel that way, despite the fact that the country benefited tremendously from all the immigration, all the people that risked their lives to go build something over there. Honestly, I don't have it that bad. Who am I kidding? I don't have it bad at all. It could be so much worse, and oftentimes it is. Exploring this topic has really given me quite a bit of empathy for the immigrants that are very poorly received all around the world. So, what do you think about everything I just shared here? What is your perception of Americans or of Europeans towards Americans? I would be curious to hear, because this is a giant open-ended topic, and I invite all different opinions and perspectives on this. It's just something I love to explore.
All right, super W video, honestly. I thought that there's going to be some crazy hatred coming our way and I would have to, go to bat for America. But honestly, most people were pretty nice about it. And the girl who was the meanest, which I guess was the girl from the beginning, who was saying it's like a third world country with money, she said the most facts. So honestly, if anyone does dislike America for the reasons listed in this video, they're right. They have the right to dislike America, especially for those reasons. And this dude, Nathaniel Drew, what a great video. I agreed with everything he said. I hope you enjoyed that video. I did. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'll see you then.